Let's do a taper with the 1.5 with the grain. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Here I'm gonna be using the 1.5 guard to go with the grain and making sure I pass through evenly. Make sure to follow the pattern of his hair growth. You can see how his swirl is in the back, just following along. And just make sure to brush it down, go over it a few times, making sure it's nice and even, clean, and no more hairs coming off. That's why it's good with the Echo blade, that you can hear that crunch. So once you don't hear that crunch no more, that means it's a sign that it's pretty evenly cut. Here I'm setting out my first bald guideline with the Babyliss 245 trimmer, and remember to stay follow the line across the ears, and that's a good starting point when making your first guideline. And if you stay right in between the ears, it's a good portion size of creating a blend for the taper in the back. So first tape was bald guideline with the trimmers. Second was clipper lever open. Then I went with the half guard lever open, and then I used the number 3 closed to just debulk the area. Now I'm going with the 1.5 guard lever open, and I'm just cleaning it out and starting to blend down. So you originally create the guidelines with the lever open, and then with the guards fading down, you go closing the lever until you blend it all the way down. That's just the way I do it. There's many other techniques that you could do, but learning one and sticking to one, creates a better flow and, getting your haircuts down packed. So I initially use 3 guards, the half, the 1.5, and the 3. And then if you want to do detail work, you can use the 2 or the 1 guard, because that would clean up in between the half, the 1.5, and the 3. Sometimes, depending on the hair texture or the hair type, just using the 3 guards, the half, the 1.5, and the 3, usually can get the blend pretty good. But sometimes you gotta use that 1 guard or the 2, depending how you see it. Here I pulled out the 1 guard just to detail a little bit and get a nice gradual blend. Now the same way you start the back, I'm doing like a low mid taper on the sides. Start with the initial guideline. It's like right on top of where the earlobe is, where it connects to the head. That's where I usually like creating the bald guideline, or you can use the tip of the eyebrow. Now, the same way, I use the trimmer to create the guideline, then clipper open, lever open, whatever you want to call it. Then I'm gonna use the 3 guard to debulk and just clean up a little bit more. And then I'm gonna use the 1.5 lever open, and I'm just gonna fade down and just go cleaning up. And as you gradually are fading down, you go closing the lever little by little. And then once you get it to that 1.5 close, you can use that 1/2 guard lever open, and it pretty much connects the blend. And for the most part, it gives you a decent blend. And you can use your corners to detail, but if you want to really be precise, you can just pull that 1 guard. Okay, now I'm going back with the lever open just to clean up from that 1/2 guard. And the fade is pretty much done. And all you got to do is just clean up work now. As you can see, as that top part was kind of dark, just go back with the 3 guard. Always start with the lever open, and then you go closing it. Just hitting that corner because I want to lighten it up and have a nice blend. And I believe I used a 2 guard here too with the lever open, just to smooth it out. As you can see, it's smoothing it out. It lightened up. And just go retouching. Same way, using the 1.5 guard and the 1/2 guard. I mean, if you get caught with them stubborn hairs that don't want to come out, use that 1 guard lever open. That way you can just detail and get all the dark areas out. Here, I'm starting the lineup using the trimmers, Babyliss 245. Right now, these are, I would say, it's a tie. It's a tie right now with this one and the Sabers. As you can see, I'm pulling the skin and brushing it down, making sure that the hair is laying flat naturally. Lining up the beard, just staying as high as possible. Mustache, the inner part. You gotta make sure you stretch that out. Hit it with the corners, get a nice clean look. I just don't like, when you do lineups on beards and mustache and you be leaving those inner hairs or the bottom of the lip hairy, untrimmed, unshaved. It just doesn't look good unless the client requests not to touch it. But 9 times out of 10, most clients want that cleaned up and looking sharp. And on the beard, he did a 2 with the grain. I'm just using that same guard to clean up. For the lineup, start from the middle, and then go outwards. Follow the head shape and make sure you ain't pushing back. Obviously every hair is different, every head is different. You just gotta follow the lines, the natural line, without pushing back. See on that right corner, he had a part there a couple weeks back, so that's why it looks like it's a little patchy, but it's growing back in. And then you don't want to push that line up back because you got to wait for that to grow back in. You're using the razor 45 degrees, stretching out the skin as much possible. I do you know, shaving gel and hot towel where every client that gets a beard, but just for the sake of, you know, the video recording and all that, I kind of cut the camera off when I'm doing that, just so I don't have to be adjusting the camera. And you know, I just like to not take too much time off my clients. I just, you know, keep the camera placed in one spot and just record. Doing the razor, man, it's a must. For used barbers that don't use razor, man, that should be illegal. Look at the difference. Look at the difference when you do a razor on those lines and the beard. Once I'm done with all haircuts, you know, I always style it up, put some product in, comb it out. Usually when you put some product, dry it up, comb it out. On the lineup, you can see some strangly hairs sticking out. That's why I like to style it, so I can just retouch up on the lineup to catch any like stranglers that hang out, and just to clean it up. But you can see how clean that taper is. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, man, so I can continue doing these videos and putting y'all up on game. Remember, everything take practice, and if you don't put in the reps, you won't get the results you want. So be in the shop, cut as many heads as you can, practice. Don't be afraid to cut. Just gotta do it. You just gotta do it. Those are my second favorite trimmers. Another trick too is, like, let's say you did like a 2, or I did the 1.5, right? Usually using a higher number, let's say like a 3 or 4, going against the grain won't take off that much hair. It'll just blend in. That's another trick too, is always going with a higher guard instead of a lower guard. Appreciate y'all. This is how the cut came out. If y'all got any questions, you already know, drop them in the comments and let me know. I'll get back to you guys soon. Appreciate y'all. Thank you for watching.